Good morning, everybody. I'd like to call the Board of Directors annual meeting for the Dutchess County IDA to order. Jasmine, would you please take the attendance?
Tim Dean,
Present.
Mark Doyle,
Present.
Kathy Bauer,
Here.
Amy Bondieri,
Here.
Jim Capone,
Here.
John Fagliano,
Here.
Al Torrigiani.
Here.
Okay. First thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the annual meeting back from January 12th of 2022, right?
So it is a consent agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. So we have on the consent agenda, approval of minutes from the last annual meeting, election of officers for the year 2023, which again would be Chairman Tim Dean, Vice Chairman Mark Doyle, Secretary Treasurer Kathleen Bauer. There are appointments, which would be Jane as the Chief Financial Officer and Compliance Officer, as well as the Records Access Officer. A lot of titles there, Jane. Records Appeal Officer would be Sarah Lee, Procurement Officer Sarah Lee. Renewal of Chief Financial Officer's bond, renewal of IDA membership in New York State EDC. I don't want to go through these individually. I think there's a number of them. Where does the consent agenda end, Sarah? That's
It's on the second page.
okay.
Item.
Ending with the designating the depository bank.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I work for one of the banks, so I don't think I should be a part of that vote.
Don, should we carve out that aspect?
Yes, and then just have a separate motion on that
Okay. Should Kathy have to excuse herself during that time?
at that time.
Okay. And actually, you know what, thinking about,
Mr. Chairman, point of privilege, Don Fagliano.
yes,
I am remote. Am I prohibited from voting?
no.
No.
As long as we have a quorum present here at the meeting, you are eligible for voting.
All right, thank you.
And actually, now that you've mentioned that, the Chief Financial Officer's bond, Sarah, I don't know, but is that potentially with Marshall and Sterling?
It's, I guess Marshall and Sterling would be over
Yeah,
over it.
Okay, so let's carve that one out as well.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anybody else that, actually, we should have really had a discussion about conflict of interest at the beginning of the meeting. So it's not on the agenda, but actually, we do have a conflict of interest policy, and if anybody sees anything on the agenda that could generate a conflict of interest, they should let us know. And Kathy, you have mentioned about the your firm, your bank providing some services.
Yes.
And so we will carve out item number 12 from the consent agenda. And I'm going to also carve out number 5, the renewal of the Chief Financial Officer's bond, as Marshall and Sterling actually may be the provider of that bond. So we should avoid that conflict. Is there any other conflicts? Okay, so if everybody is comfortable with all other aspects of the consent agenda, except for number 5 and number 12, could I get a motion to approve those?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Could I get a second? Oh,
Doyle, second.
okay, Mark Doyle has seconded it. Jasmine, would you please take a vote?
Al Torrigiani,
Approved.
John Fagliano,
Approved.
James Capone,
Approved.
Amy Bondieri,
Approved.
Kathy Bauer,
Approved.
Mark Doyle.
Approved.
Approved. Okay. Kathy, you know what? Would we have a quorum with both of us out of the room?
No,
Okay,
only one at a time.
okay, so Kathy, if you could step out, please. Okay, does anybody have any issue with item number 12, designated any commercial bank as its depository for the IDA funds? With, as outlined in item 12. If not, I would entertain a motion Did I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Jamie. Okay, Jasmine, could you please take the vote on item number 12?
Al Jorjani,
Approve.
John Sagliano,
Approved.
James McCone,
Approve.
Amy Bonadiri. Approved. Mark Doyle,
Approved.
Tim Dean.
Approved. Okay, I'm going to step out for item number 5, and Mark, if you would mind taking over that portion of the meeting. Let me get Kathy in here.
Musical chairs.
Thanks, Kathy.
You're welcome.
So, item number 5, renewal of the chief financial officer's bond. So it sounds a little bit like the umbrella coverage maybe is potentially through Marshall Sterling.
Well, they find us the best, it's through a broker, they're our broker.
Yeah, the broker, okay, but it's through them. right?
Yes.
So, is there any other discussion on that? It seems pretty straightforward. So, if we'd like to, Jasmine, if you'd like to take a vote on that, please, take the votes on that.
I'll make a motion.
Oh, but sorry, we need a motion. I'm skipping.
It's okay. I'll make
Out
a.
of order here. Straighten me out. All right, and a second.
Who made the first?
Jamie made the motion. And Al second.
Okay,
All
Al
right, now we'll go ahead. Thank you, Jasmine.
Jorjani,
Approve.
John Sagliano,
Approved.
James McCone,
Approve.
Amy Bonadiri. Approved. Kathy Bauer,
Approved.
Mark Doyle.
Approved.
Okay. Now,
Okay. Sarah, for the discussion agenda, is there any old business?
no,
Okay, new business. You want to take these?
Yes.
Board evaluation, audit, and finance committee evaluation questionnaires.
Yeah, so these are our annual board forms that need to be completed by the board. They are the questionnaires. If you are also on the Finance and Audit Committee, you have an extra questionnaire in your packet for that. There is conflict of interest questionnaire, the financial disclosure statement, and the mission statement and the mission statement acknowledgement. There's also the code of ethics acknowledgement, and then not typical of the discussion agenda, but included here is the code of ethic policy itself. We are proposing a minor technical change to the policy. Currently, as the policy is written, there are 2 dates of when the form is due to the board. On page 6 of the policy, which is in your packet, I think it's
Right. There's a little tab here.
Section 6.
okay. It's all the way in the back. Oh, okay. So it's all the way in the back. Third page in section 6. All the
Oh,
way.
sorry.
Last.
Okay.
So it's 2 pages.
Quite all the way back.
Yeah, 2 or 3 pages from the end.
Yeah.
All right. And you're talking about,
Oh, this is different.
It's more than,
Yeah. no. There we go.
Yeah,
You're in the wrong packet.
take the binder clip off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there.
There you go, there you go. There you go.
okay, sorry
So
about that.
section 6,
Section 6 on page 4 of that document.
yeah. Is everyone?
Yep.
I see. Yeah.
So it says March 15th. We'd like to change it to May 15th because in section 8, it refers to May 15th. And then also the county's code of ethics also refers to May 15th.
Okay.
So to be consistent with all those documents and all those dates, we propose the date change from March 15th to May 15th. It's been our practice to basically accept it before March 15th, but just to be consistent.
Sure.
That's what we're proposing.
Do you want to make that, should we take care of that right now?
Yeah. so we
Okay,
can
would
amend
somebody be
also.
willing to make a motion to amend section 8?
Or Section 6.
Section six.
Oh, I'm sorry, section 6 to conform with section 8 of our financial disclosure statement filing.
Code of ethics.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. Code of ethics document. Would anybody be willing to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Kathy. Could I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Al, okay, Jasmine, would you take a vote on that?
Approved.
John Sagliano,
Approved.
James McComb,
Approved.
Amy Bondieri,
Approved.
Kathy Bauer,
Approved.
Mark Doyle,
Approved.
Jim Dean.
Approved. Okay,
And then the last policy that I do need the board's approval of is our mission statement, our annual mission statement and performance measure policy, which is the last page.
One page with that.
it's, right, this is the
Acknowledgement.
acknowledgement. Where's the actual,
Oh, these are-
right,
Oh, right there. Right there.
right, so what are you looking for us to do?
So we annually, we are, best practice is for the board to review our mission policy statement every year and the performance policies. And then how we show that the board has approved it is that we annually re-adopt our mission policy.
Okay,
So,
what I'm gonna suggest is if, just to be sure, I would just like to take just a minute and have everybody just very quickly take a review of that mission statement and performance measurement policy. And see if there's anybody that has any questions or concerns about it. So if we could just take a minute to just run through that, it's a 1.5-page document.
I have a question, if I might. So our mission statement is somewhat less inclusive than the enabling legislation in terms of the number of items that are in it. And I guess it's a matter of opinion whether that fact is in any way limiting, or Sarah, whether you find that it doesn't provide you the guidance that you might need. So for example, if you just take, and I'll use recreation as being recreational opportunities, can easily be added quite accurately into economic development, but it's the language, it's all I'm just asking about, is whether you find that to be somehow lacking.
limiting the ability of.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, I think our mission statement is broad enough to include that in.
The mission statement is to create jobs. the recreational facilities, all these other things, all assist in that. So the board makes the finding generally when they approve a project that it's consistent with the board's mission. And the mission is to help create jobs. And if recreational facilities may create a quality of life and that attracts businesses and attracts jobs. Maybe it does it that way, it may be indirect, but the mission statement remains job creation. So that-
Expand businesses employment. Have you ever had anybody approach you about a specifically recreation focused in any way that you felt like you were impaired that
No, I
in
mean,
achieving something?
no, I mean, we have been approached, but not for IDA benefits. So as it relates to the IDA, and the benefits that the IDA can do, I haven't had that,
Okay.
issue. I think one thing that we do, Mark, you bring up a good point, is that, the nature of IDA projects are changing. And while we haven't seen it here at this IDA, well, we actually did see one, but in New York State in general, they are seeing projects where they are not necessarily direct job generators, but indirectly may help increase jobs. Those those projects are renewable energy projects where there may not be jobs, but it will help indirectly create jobs for other industries that may use that. So those are things that we might want to consider if job creation is the mission. We may be entertaining projects where, job creation is not necessarily the direct benefit, but, we are receiving other benefits from that project. So, but
It does say attract, retain, and expand businesses and employment. It doesn't say directly. It could be directly or indirectly.
Yeah.
Mark, did that?
Absolutely, I just
Yes.
wanted
Yeah,
to,
no.
I had this exact sense from the business we're doing.
Don, go right ahead.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Dean. So I'm reading in the second bulleted area mission statement. And it states that we issue bonds. I was under the impression that although the IDA may have the capability to issue bonds, that we haven't issued bonds in several years. Is that accurate, Council Capolino?
Yeah, yes, that's because of limitations on, in the Internal Revenue Code on what can be done. There used to be private activity bonds. And we would do those a lot more often. But there's still the ability to do it. And
It really hasn't been attractive to developers
right.
at this time.
And my thought is with the additional questions on the second page, are there any other items that need to be included upon that? Or is this these written narratives with like item 1 have the board members acknowledged it? Are we supposed to sign a document?
Yes.
Yes.
Or maybe one attached to it. Is that accurate, Sarah?
Yeah, so there's a document in your packet called the Mission Statement Performance Measurement Acknowledgement.
Last page.
And that satisfies the acceptance and understanding of it. Is that the
Yes.
Okay. Great.
Yes,
Thank you.
correct.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, so we do need to ratify this mission statement, and as we just discussed, each board member at some time should sign that document, the last page, and get it back to Jasmine. But I think at this time we need to get a motion to approve the mission statement and performance measurement policy of our IDA. Could I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. And could I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Al. Okay, Jasmine.
Al Torriani,
Approved.
Don Sagliano,
Approved.
James Cone,
Approved.
Amy Bonadiri. Approved. Kathy Bauer,
Approved.
Mark Doyle,
Approved.
and Dean.
Approved. Okay, moving on. What's next?
That's it.
Oh, okay. Is there any other items that anybody would like to bring before us? Okay, we are going to adjourn.